What's going on, everybody? This is Kevin from Daily Mobile. It's just me, this Mega 6.3, and my scribbled notes about it. I've had a little bit of time to use this device. I just want to give you a full review on it. We're going to go over the specs real quick. This is not a high-end device. This is a mid-range device with a special feature of this gigantic 6.3-inch screen. It is 720 by 1280 pixels, which brings it in at a mid-range 233 ppi. It's got a 1.7 dual-core processor. It's got a gig and a half of RAM inside. This either comes in a 16 gigabyte or an 8 gigabyte of internal storage, which can be supplemented by 64 gigabytes with your SD card. It is, if I can put that to the side for you, pretty thin. It's 8 millimeters. There we go. It's 8 millimeters thick. It weighs in at almost 200 grams, 199 grams, which may sound heavy, but it's really not that heavy, being that you are dealing with a 6.3-inch device with a 3200 milliamp battery. It's got an 8 megapixel rear facing camera. I believe this is the same one that's on the GS3, and a 1.9 megapixel front facing camera. I'll just do a quick hardware tour for you. It's pretty much Samsung standard setup. You got your front facing camera, you got all your sensors there, you have your earpiece there. Down somewhere in here you got your microphone buried. You have your menu button. See if I can light those up. There we go. Your back button, and what I like to call your settings button. Not a lot of manufacturers have this anymore that make Android. I am very fond of that button and glad to see it still survives. On the bottom is the aforementioned speaker, your USB charging port, your micro USB charging port, your lock unlock button on the side, which actually is in a good place being how big this phone is. It still rests comfortably on your thumb. And then up top you have noise cancellation microphone, your IR blaster, your 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, and down the side here you just have your volume rocker, and on the back there is the aforementioned camera. What you will notice about this device is it's just a little bit slippery on the back, just like any Samsung device. I'd recommend it if you were going to purchase this device, you would buy a case. Not a big case, just a thin case. Let's see if I have it around. Like this. It's just a thin case, doesn't offer much protection, but it gives you just a little bit of grip. Make sure that it doesn't fall out of your hand. Okay, so we're not going to go over the size of this device too much. If you want a big device, you're buying this device for the size. I'll just give you a couple comparisons here. I happen to have on hand for testing a LG Optimus Pro, which is a 5.5-inch device. Okay, so it kind of dwarfs that. As you can see, you can kind of fit that inside. And if you really want to see something that would give you an idea of how far devices have come in the past couple of years size-wise, there we go. This is a Nokia Lumia 800. This is I believe a 3.7-inch screen. So that'll give you an idea how big the device is. If you're looking for a big device, this would be your animal. Like I said previously, this is a mid-range device. The PPI is low at 233, but you really don't notice it when you're doing your average everyday stuff. If you're on the internet and you're really zooming in, you're going to notice it, or if you're used to a premium device, you will notice that it's just a little bit grainy for you, but it's not that big of a deal. The processor is a 1.7 gigahertz dual core with a gig and a half of RAM. Again, there are higher spec devices, but as you can tell, this device moves along just fine. Loading times are acceptable. I think I seen lag once in the time I was testing it, and that was based more on what I think to be just a glitch somewhere. It tends to run TouchWiz very well, which says a lot because TouchWiz is a hog. The 8 megapixel camera on the back does a good job. Let me see if I can get some pictures up here for you real quick. Let's pick that. See if I can find something at night for you that would make you show. Here we go. We're going to go with this. Okay, so this picture was taken at night. I did mess around with the settings a lot, but as you can tell, if you zoom in, it just breaks up a little bit, but that's pretty impressive because this was completely at night. The details are good on it. Sometimes your colors were a little off, but that's got more to do with Samsung software and how they handle pictures than the camera itself. Also, one thing I found, as long as we're discussing camera, that this has a feature called Story Album, and I think this was on previous devices. I probably just didn't find it when I was testing it. What it does is it takes all of your pictures you take, and it can either do by geotag or a date stamp, and put them together in just kind of a picture album for you, which is nice when you're showing off your pictures to your friends. Okay. Inside this device, there is a 3200 milliamp battery, and I got probably 12 to 14 hours out of it. And I use battery a little harder than probably the average user. So if you're worried about, is a device this size with the screen going to last you all day, it will with the 3200 milliamp battery. The other thing, or the one thing I noticed about this device, which is odd, see if I can't get a close-up of that status bar for you. If I can't get it to clear up there for a second. Refocus. And I can't. Okay, anyway, I don't know if you could see it or not, but up in the status bar, there is there we go. There's just, it's showing 0 bars, but I still have signal. Now it's showing 1. When it's showing 0 bars, you have 1 bar, and the max it can go is 4 bars, which I find kind of odd that 0 bars is having signal, but it is. It took me about 2 weeks to figure that out. Just something you want to keep aware if you buy the device. Also, what you want to realize is that this device is missing some of the high-end features. There's all the features on it. It's missing Smart Scroll and Smart Pause, which your Galaxy devices have. This is the Mega lineup. This is not the Premium. So they've kept a couple things out, although you can see we still do have multi-window, which works spectacularly on a device this size, AirView, and Smart Stay. The other thing that I've noticed about this device is the loudspeaker on the back. It does become very, very loud. It does become very, very loud, as you can hear by that beep. But once you're playing music and get to the higher ends, it becomes a little tinny. And you can also see, just by me having the case off this for just a little bit of time, it really is just a fingerprint dust magnet on the back. And the last thing that I thought was really cool, and I don't know if this was in the previous versions, but Samsung has the Watch On, where you can, it's like a remote control for your TV. And instead of having to open it up completely, how did I hit that? Instead of having to open it up completely, in your drop-down menu there will be just a little remote control. That way you don't have to go to it every time. I just found that just really convenient. In retrospect, or in summary here, this is a great device if you're buying it for the screen and to have all the nice Samsung features. If you're looking for a top of the end and line device, this isn't your animal. But if you're looking for a big screen at a reasonable price that doesn't stutter, doesn't lag, and does everything you expect it to, the Samsung Mega 6.3 is for you. Thanks for watching.